What are seed oils and what are the impacts on our health?
There's a thing called the devil's triad. So, you know, the way we've got massive obesity, and American data many years back had 64% of American adults over the age of 45 are now pre-diabetic or full-blown diabetic. And if you use insulin to measure, which they don't bother doing, you'll probably get that up to 75, 78%. So you've got nearly 80% of your adults over 45 are essentially diabetic, which is insane. So how could that be? So it's the devil's triad. So sugars, refined grains or refined wheats, and seed oils. That's the devil's triad.
Right.
And if you cut out those three, you wouldn't have an obesity epidemic, you wouldn't have a diabetes epidemic. In fact, you know, pharmaceutical companies, 9 out of 10 will go out of business,
Uh-huh.
right? So that's how crazy it is. But you said seed oils. So seed oils are extracted with hexane and solvents under very high temperature and pressure. If you went into a seed oil company, these golden vegetable oils, they call them, that you are meant to be heart healthy. You
Sunflower oils and things like that. Yeah.
Sunflower oils, safflower oils, all the oils from seeds, they're all done in chemical plants with high temperature and pressure. So one problem with them is they're very high generally in the omega-6 type fats, which you should only have a tiny amount in your diet. You know, they're signaling molecules used in inflammatory processes. You do not want to be eating them as calories. But now Americans, I think, are 15% of their calories are from seed oils. It should be less than a half a percent. It's insane. It's 30
Uh-huh.
times the evolutionary level,
Uh-huh.
and it's very, very damaging. So they're the omega-6 rich oils. But then the other problem is, you know, the hydrogenation and damage to the molecules from the chemical processes. I mean, people have to wear respirators and suits at stages in the process. This rank, grey, rancid muck comes off, stinking muck. And when they make the initial oil, you know, you'd never go near it because it would be repulsive. But then they deodorize it.
Hmm.
So they've got the technology to take away nature's warning signal
Uh-huh.
not to eat it.
Yeah.
They deodorize, they bleach, they color it golden, and then they give it to you, right? So big debates as to which is the bigger thing driving modern chronic disease. We know nearly to a certainty that seed oils are extremely damaging in quantity, which most people are eating in processed food. And we know refined carbohydrates. We know all the mechanisms and we know they're massively damaging. So you just eliminate both. And you can
Yeah.
debate all day. But I have studies from the late 90s. These are amazing. They began to do rat studies on seed oils versus beef tallow and lard. And what they found was cancer. So they found major increases in tumorigenesis, you know, the growing of tumors in tumor disposed rats. And they published from around 93 up to around 98 or 1999, increasingly publishing papers, getting louder and louder, saying, wow, seed oils drive cancer if you go over 3 or 4% in the diet. This is interesting because we're telling everyone to eat them.
Uh-huh.
And you know what happened then? Around 98 or 99, obviously the system awoke to these published studies and they stopped. I mean, they fell off a cliff. It was like Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner. They just literally stopped. And you know what that was. Someone made the right phone
Yeah,
calls.
yeah.
Da, 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 da. So all the evidence is there. That's the tip of the iceberg. Don't touch them.